Right guys, it's Mark here with me main man Teddy Bear. Say hello Teddy.
What's happening, people?
Just want to do a quick video today because I had a really good day. Doing something different to work. I've been on a bit of a journey with Teddy. I can't say I've done too much though, mine, because I'm about as much use as a chocolate fire guard when it comes to being a good friend that's there all the time, because I spread myself too thin. But I have been able to be involved with Teddy's journey. Now, you could probably tell even in the video, I'm quite a big lad. Teddy's even bigger, and there's reasons behind that. And I just wanted to share with people what it is that Teddy's background, how this started, what's happened, and tell us a bit about his journey. And then I've got some exciting stuff to ask him at the end, which is already making me smile because I know the end and you lot don't. So, Teddy, tell us a little bit about sort of your past and your journey.
Well, just basically, even from birth, basically, always been big. I was 2 months premature, 7'10" baby, and yeah, throughout my adolescence years, always big. Although I was active, it didn't stop me from playing sports and participating in stuff. Even through my teenage years, I was playing rugby, I was doing kickboxing. Wasn't really an issue. It wasn't until I got into my 20s that it started becoming a little bit of an issue, and then it became a massive issue when my mum passed away, and I had a massive shock to the system. And then I got diagnosed with a condition called lymphoedema, which basically means the lymph glands in my body aren't working correctly. So the fluid in your body filters through lymph glands to travel around the body. Now, for me, in certain areas, specifically in my legs, the lymph glands will filter the water into the fluid into my legs, but then they struggle to draw it back out, and so because of that, it's made my legs go disformed and swell up, and I've had 2 masses form on my thighs on both legs that have remained, unfortunately. And yeah, it's caused mobility issues for me, and then yeah, the weight's just kind of ballooned on for years after that and ever since. And then these past 10 months now, properly tackling the issue. And yeah.
So in terms of what you've gone through, obviously you've gone through different stages with your mindset. So me as a big person that's always battled my weight was always linked to my emotions. And I'm a funny character. And a lot of my funniness, I guess, was always ways of dealing and overcoming difficult things in my life.
It was your shield.
Yeah, and it's kind of my shield. Although I'd like to think that I'm funny also because I'm funny, but
he is.
It's, you know, a lot of that is to hide those emotions. And I found that even when you've got good people around you and a good family, sometimes you still can't open up to them. And sometimes it's even hard to admit to yourself the problem that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference in your mental state from being a child that's just slightly overweight, still being active, to going into being big, how did that affect you mentally in terms of how you felt when you was walking around, when you was going places? Because we all know you was Big Cuddly Teddy, and most of your friends that know you embrace you for who you are.
During, I'd say during my teenage years and going into my early 20s, it didn't bother me. I was me. I was still able to do stuff. I was still able to keep up with people. So I had that confidence because I knew everyone, because I was social. I talked to people and that. And as I said, I was involved in all my sports and everything and that. I had that confidence. And so dealing with people taking the mick, calling you names, etc., it didn't bother me. In fact, I used to find it hilarious, and I used to embrace getting the attention, where I'd have to tell friends and family members who were getting irate about it and wanting to go and talk to the people, or in some cases want to fight the people, I'm having temp, don't worry about it, it's fine. But then getting into my 20s and then losing my mum, and then I had some real bad experiences in my personal life. I split up from my fiance at the time, and I had some embarrassing moments publicly where I was having to wait to be picked up from an appointment, and I was at the hospital and staff members were walking past me while I was sat outside pointing and laughing at me, and it really damaged my confidence and knocked me for six and absolutely destroyed me, to the point where I reclused away. And from, I'd say, 2019, the summer of 2019, all the way up until last year, I didn't leave where I live, my flat, my area where I live. I didn't go. So basically 2.5 years. I mean, granted, we had lockdown, which was another massive thing to obviously deal with. I mean, I live on my own. I don't have family close by near me. I have family in the sense of friends and that. But I was on my own. I was isolated by myself throughout lockdown and stuff. And that had a massive effect on me mentally. And obviously, like the majority of people do, what do? You turn to food, don't you? And yeah, and just the whole mental side of it all. Looking back, that chunk from losing my mum to just after lockdown and stuff was huge. Had a huge impact on me negatively. And I look back on it and I'm disappointed in myself that I allowed it to happen. But things happen for a reason. You can't help that. It is what it is. But I got to a point after we come out of lockdown and that, and towards the middle of last year, I realised I didn't want it to just exist. I didn't want to just live a life, wake up and be like, why am I here? Because I had those moments. I did have suicidal thoughts, and back in 2015, I did try to commit suicide, sadly. I mean, thankfully, obviously I didn't do it. I'm still here. And I always used to be one of those people, I never understood why people did it. I always used to think, oh, they're so selfish. How could they do that? They've got so much to live for and stuff. But I got to that stage where I couldn't see a way out. I got that low, and I understand, and I have a new respect. Not respect's the wrong word, a new understanding for it. That you don't see a way out. You do literally just feel like you're existing, like you shouldn't be here. What's the point? And through going through all that and experiencing all that, I got to that point last year, and I was like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to fall into that trap again. And so I made a conscious decision to refer myself to the wellbeing service, and it was the best decision I'd ever made. I'm actually annoyed at myself that I didn't do this sooner. I referred myself to them. They were very good with me. They referred me to a CBT therapy course, and I did a 6-week course. Sorry, not 6 week. It was longer than 10-week course. I apologise. And it was amazing. The skills and things I learned on that, and speaking to the other people that were on the course with me, it was all done via a Zoom call. I know some people aren't keen on doing Zoom calls and stuff. They like to have that face-to-face. He's one of them. He prefers this type of interaction rather than this interaction. But for me, it was nice because I had a good group of people who all got involved. We all spoke about what we were going through. We all got involved with the counsellor, and it was a very good thing. It was a good course, and I learnt so much that it helped me through some things. Immediately afterwards, I lost my best friend's dad died, and he was someone very close. He was actually the very first person I ever met. My best friend's dad died, and he was someone very close. He was actually the very first person I ever met when I moved up to Bedford. And the skills that I learned during that course helped me in a way deal with it. Whereas before I would just recluse away, it would get really emotional. I would instantly find the attachments of linking it to me losing my mum, and understanding the growth that I'd made through learning what I'd learned. I then made the self-conscious decision. I was like, you know what? Enough's enough. I want to regain my life. I want to live a life. I want to actually do something. I want to grab it by the horns, basically. So
I think there's also you've got the physical demands on top of all your mental, and it's renowned that us men generally won't talk. We don't feel that we could admit that we have an issue. We always want to be that strong person. We always want the person that takes care. We always want to be the person that, you know, is about everyone else rather than actually admitting where we have problems.
And that's a generational thing, don't you think? It's something
so.
from us with our generation, and that it was always ingrained to us. Men have to be men. Men,
yeah,
they don't talk about their feelings. You cry, you're called a sis, you're called a wussy.
Yeah.
Grow up, get a pair of balls, stop acting manly, stop being a woman. And that's wrong. At the end of the day, we're just as emotional as women are, and we should be entitled to express those emotions and feel comfortable enough to talk about them.
But it's also good with friendships like ours, because
this is true.
How brutal. What question am I going to ask?
This guy, I tell you, he has been absolutely savage to me at times, but I've needed it. Do you understand? I've needed the savageness from him and the bluntness. I can't stress enough. Sometimes you do need that bluntness, not sugar coated and everything said through rose tinted glass and stuff. No, be blunt, be straight to the point. And I needed it this morning. I was nervous this morning going to this appointment, and I said to him, mate, I need you to be blunt with me. I need that. And he delivered, and he got me through it. He got rid of the nerves instantly. Had me laughing, had me feeling comfortable. And
the funny thing is that I sit there having a go at you, and yet I struggle so much with myself. Teddy wants to go swimming, I don't. Why? Because I'm fat. But Teddy's bigger than me. You'd think that with that situation it would be quite easy to say, yeah, come on then, because I could rely on the fact that, but that's not how it is. Some of these things that we go through and some of the things we deal with are kind of deep rooted. And going back to what you said before about not caring what people say, most of the time I don't care what people think. You really don't. Like, and you know, I've fallen foul to reacting sometimes. You know, I can remember someone in a pub once where they called me fat this, fat that, and it kept going, and all he kept doing was going on about me being fat. And I thought to myself, and I said to him, for God's sakes, man, do you not think I own a mirror? I know what size I am. Like, it's, you know,
and the cliche insults that you've heard hundreds of times before, you're like,
it's like, come on. And I just remember saying to him, listen, mate, because he weren't exactly slim, and I remember saying, if I threw a burger across the floor, you'd go and jump and get it. So don't be having a go at me about being fat. But, you know, and straight away, though, I felt bad. Because this is not the stuff I like to hear. And I generally... And from that day onwards, I told myself, I'm not going to do that again. Even though I don't do it. I did it.
I get that, but it is hard. Like, everyone has their breaking point.
Yeah.
You keep poking at something. After a while, do you know what I mean? It's like you got the stick and you're poking at the line. After a while, you keep poking at the line's going to turn around and he's going to have your ass.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That is true. That is true. So we've got some good news with Sexy Teddy, but we're going to come to that a little bit later. First of all, what we did today has been, there's been a number of appointments we've had to go. And initially, and this is quite a good one to share, because when we first took Teddy, it was how are we going to get him there? Because he's so big. And the amount of times I took him in a small car, and the pain he would be in, just trying to get... And I've got a bigger car now anyway, because I aspire to have a boat one day. Why I've bought the car that will pull a boat now for, I don't know. But that's pretty much where it came from. So I've got this lovely car. It's a Nissan X-Trail. It's quite a big spacious car. And he fits in there all right. But actually, as he's gone on this, processed this journey, he's lost, and I'm not going to go over the weight loss other than to say that obviously he's lost weight and it's become easier and easier. And I've just noticed that. And for me, I've noticed the times I would have you won't mind me sharing this because I'm a little bit like this. I remember coming in once and we was talking about his weight, and I was getting worried about losing my friend. And I've lost friends over the years for different reasons, and some have been really tough on me. And I just remember saying to him, I don't want to lose you. We've got to sort out your weight. I mean, mine's bad enough as it is. We've got to sort you out. And I had a bit of a conversation with him. He said, well, my eating's not that bad. And there he sat, just ordered a fried burrito. And I kind of was one of the bluntest days of my life. I said, are you kidding me? See how I bleep my own swear word there. Because that's probably what I did at the time and all. And I just kind of shocked him in the fact of, you can't be saying that to me when you're just about to stick a fried burrito in your mouth. Like, yes, you have got the problem. And yes, a problem has developed from being overweight. And now it's a health condition. But let's not make the situation worse by keep eating those things. But one of the things is to stress how hard it is to change that routine. And today was about an echo scan on his heart. That was to make sure that he doesn't die on the table. The risk of dying on the table, essentially. Yeah. What it is making sure that he ain't going to die. And we were let down a little bit because, the appointment got shifted and we thought we were at the last one before and it's only going to be next week, and then next week got cancelled. And how many months ago was that?
Back in March. End of March, this was all supposed to happen. And
I can't tell you. This video is really about him rather than me. Obviously, I like to steal some of the limelight just because that's me. But really, this is about him because he's absolutely been phenomenal. This guy's been on milk diets. I mean, we're talking about just milk. I love milk. But to that level and not be able to have anything else. And how many weeks were you on that for?
Right, so how it went about, I started back in December on this journey, and initially for 9 weeks I was on what they call the liquid diet, which basically consisted of, I had 6 pints of milk per day, and I would have 2 salty beverages as well. That could either be a Bovril, or I was allowed to have an Oxo Cube crushed up with hot water. So basically like a stock drink. You can have 2 of them a day. And then I was allowed up to 3 pre-made pots of sugar-free jelly, or if I made it myself, I could have as much as I want, because obviously it's just water and the gelatin powder and stuff. But for convenience, I got the pre-made pots, and it was also easy to just measure out. I knew at certain points during the day I would have a pot. And then on top of that, I could have as much drink in the sense of sugar-free drinks, water, a minimum of 2 pints of water per day. And I just stuck to flavoured water, sugar-free flavoured water for the most part. I stopped all the majority of fizzy drinks, and it's very rarely now that I can actually even drink fizzy drinks. There are certain ones I can have, like I've got Fanta Zero next to me at the moment, but even that, I can't have too much of it. I can't drink Coca-Cola at all. Now, I can just about manage Coke Zero. I can't even do Diet Coke. I went out for a friend's birthday literally about a month after I started this, and I felt sick. I had 1 Diet Coke, went out, and I felt sick. Couldn't handle it. It's horrible.
But you trumpeted though a lot, didn't you?
Do you know what? Actually, not as much as I thought I was going to be. But yeah, sorry, I digressed away from the point. But yeah, so for 9 weeks I was on that diet with the milk, and then after that. Yeah, so for 9 weeks I was on that diet with the milk. And then after the 9 weeks, because I'd been so well, and this was the hilarious thing, I had to do it over Christmas and that. So while everyone was posting their Christmas dinners and everything,
I remember that.
there was me sat with a turkey flavoured hot drink, my milk and my pot of jelly, and that was my Christmas dinner.
Oh.
And it was hilarious.
But on that, so with that 9 weeks though, you went for that first weigh-in? Or was it a little bit after that?
The weigh-in was, no, the first weigh-in would have been, let me think, 9 weeks. And because I then moved, after 9 weeks, I got moved on to what they called the 900 calorie diet.
Yeah.
Which reintroduced me back to food.
Which is really quite difficult as well.
Yeah, because...
And you've just been fluid, and now you're starting to eat food.
That was a massive culture shock for me, and I couldn't believe how full up I got on just these 900 calories, which basically, throughout the day, you can have 900 calories. You can't go over. So you would have like maybe 100 calories for breakfast, 200 for lunch, 400... Oh, my maths is wrong there.
Oh, don't worry.
But along
the fact is, you could only have.
Could only go up to 900 per day.
And you were probably on over 2,000 a day at one point.
Oh, easy. Way back when.
Yeah.
Way back when. Yeah, easy. Even more. Yeah. Ridiculous. I'd be on what bodybuilders would be using.
And can you remember what it was initially that you weighed? Like, as in what you'd lost. As in, on that first weigh-in, do you remember?
Oh, when I first got weighed after the 9 weeks, and then I can't remember. I think it may have been 2 or 3 weeks. I'd been on the calorie diet. That initial, I think I'd lost just over 7 stone.
Was it even? No. It was, sure, how many weigh-ins have we done?
Today was my second one. No, it was my third one. Third one, because I did one, and then remember I went for a second one when I met the surgeon and the anaesthetist.
In my head, I thought it was about 4 stone, 5 stone initially.
It was.
Then when we went back, it was a couple more.
No, it was 7 stone on the initial one, and then a week later I went and met the surgeon, and then I got weighed again, and
you still lost.
I'd lost another stone in that week.
In 1 week,
which was crazy. How, I don't know, but yeah. So up until March, I'd lost 8 stone altogether, roughly. Give or take a pound here or a pound there. There was on the conversion rate, because they like to do it in kilograms, and I'm not great with that. I've always been pounds and stone.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing was, obviously you made all those connections. You did all what you did. I think you started talking more as well, and you started up the Teddy Club. What was it called? Teddy.
Right, the Teddy Bear Club. Is hilarious.
Teddy Bear Club.
That, ironically, that come from my radio show. That's what I used to call my radio show when I was working on the local radio station here in Bedford. It was called Interbeats. Little plug out for them. And my show was called the Teddy Bear Club. And so when I decided that I was gonna vlog each week, just to have a recap on how the week went, partially for myself so I can look back on things and how it gone, but also, without this sounding big-headed, if I could help someone else who's going through something similar or thinking of wanting to go through something similar, if they can get any kind of help or guidance or have it as a reference point, brilliant. Excellent. But the main thing was for me to look back on and say, wow, this is what I was like in week 1, this is what I like in week 20, and so forth. So I've got something to look back on and say, and I can see my progression. And so every week, as I would record it, I then started calling everyone that was supporting me and following and liking my posts, commenting and stuff, call everyone the Teddy Bear Club. And it's just stuck now. So now, whenever I do the vlog, I'm addressing the Teddy Bear Club, because it's, as far as I'm concerned, everyone that watches my videos, reads my posts and that, you're all part of my Teddy Bear Club. Because
and unfortunately, not only does he have me to contend with, he also has my mother having to help him with certain things, and that is on a weekly basis. So whilst he gets a break from my ridiculous amount of non-friendship, or not non-friendship, I'm always there. He always texts me, ring me, he knows I'm there. I'll give him a little friendly kicking if he needs it, or whatever he's wanting from me. I'm there, but I'm not very good at, I put a lot into my work. I put a lot into, family and helping here, there, and I say yes to probably more things than sometimes I can deal with. But he has to have me mum. I mean, that's on a weekly basis.
You're harsh. Your mum's lovely. Don't listen to him, guys. His mum is a godsend, and she's helped me so much. His mum is
She's very good.
His mum is actually one of my carers. I have carers that help me maintain my legs so that I don't get ulcers or blisters or sores with them. And his mum, I tell you, she's been amazing looking after me and keeping them healthy and in check. And like him, it's where he gets it from. She's blunt. She'll kick me up the arse and tell me as it is. And she's been one of my biggest supporters. And
so, how much did you weigh at the beginning, roughly?
About 350 kg.
I don't even know what that's in stone. We'll probably find out.
It's a lot.
We'll stick it in the
lot.
thing up there. There was it down there on the whatever, somewhere in the comments. We'll put it in there because this is just, well, I'm made up for him. So after doing all of that, after appointments not happening, after feeling alone, then with people, then going back on in himself and opening up. Today, we went and everything's good. Your heart's fine.
Heart is absolutely fine.
The boy is pumping. That's absolutely fine. There's not going to be a problem on that table, unless they get it drastically wrong. Sorry, mate, if they do. But they won't.
Where's wood? I need to touch some wood here.
What is it that you are now at?
Well,
this boy has lost 10 stone.
I knew he can.
And
I
you
knew
look nearly 10
he can hold it. I knew he can hold it. Yeah, basically, because we had a bit of time after I had the echo scan done, I said to him, I begged him, can we go round to the clinic? Let me go in there and weigh myself, because I hadn't weighed myself since March. So we went in there and they were very nice. They were like, yeah, that's fine, just have to wait a minute. So we waited, and then they took me through, and yeah, I weighed myself. And I had to go on it twice because I didn't believe it. So I went on it, I looked at the reading, and I was like, that can't be right. Come back off, went back on again. And so yeah, I'm now down to 300 kg, which meant I'd lost another near enough 2 stone, near enough. It was like the conversion rate's weird. But yeah, I'm now down to, so basically I've lost 50 kg.
It's about 9.5. It's about 9.5 stone.
So
somewhere around there.
So in these because it's nearly, because I've been on this for 45 weeks now, so nearly 10 months.
By the time he gets to tomorrow, though, he'll probably lose another half. So
not quite.
He's doing so well, and I just wanted to say I am so proud of you, and I've got tears in my eyes.
I know, he's tearing up, and you keep seeing me move my hands. I'm having to pinch myself.
Yeah,
I don't want to tear up either. But
honestly, I'm so proud of you, and part of the reason why I'm doing this video is because, look, if we put our minds to anything, we can do it. And this guy is just proof of that. And I'm proving to myself that I can get myself where I want to be. I get knocked down, I come back. And it's because I've got people like Teddy in my life, many people in my life, and probably through future videos, you'll probably learn some of those. If I started thanking the people, I'd be all day, and it would just be a video on thanks. So, men out there, mostly, but listen, everybody out there, mental health is not a one-day thing. Mental health is a much bigger thing. It's a daily thing. If you have problems, please just open up, even if it's just a hello. I've always said to all my friends and all people that don't even know me, even if you just want to say hello to me, however much time I can give, I will try and give. And Teddy's a little bit like that too. And that's the importance of this video, is to understand. One, I wanted to show him off because I'm so proud of him, and he's done amazing things, stuff that I've not even been able to get myself doing.
Not yet. We're going to work on him. Don't worry, people.
But this guy is...
If I can do it, he can do it.
This guy's amazing. I told him earlier, I believed in him. I knew he could do it. My worry was the nerves. I was nervous that, you know, the back and forth, the disappointments might throw him back. And when you're dealing with a lot of stuff like that and bullying and all sorts of stuff, it can be so easy to go backwards. And he just keeps going forward. And don't get me wrong, when he starts having your treat, when he does get through this, I'll probably still have a go at him, and I'll probably monitor what that is and kick him into shape again. But the guy is on there for the right reason. And, you know, it just goes to prove, if you open your mouth, if you say something, in fact, actually, if you call a friend, there's times where I've not been around and he'll just say, Mark, can you come round? Now, I automatically know that I've either left it too long, or there might be something underneath him that he possibly is dealing with that he ain't really said about. Then when I'm here, I sort of drag it out of him, and, you know, that helps you, and obviously then you start asking about me, and obviously then he pulls it out of me, because I'm not one for really talking about...
It's hard work sometimes to get it out of him, but we do it.
I think, you know, men... Look, there's in Bedford, I'm going to do a plug here actually, Paul Ellis. He doesn't know that I'm going to plug him here, but he does a men's monthly club. It's normally down at the Exec Club, and it's the first, I'm going to get this wrong now, first Wednesday. I think it's the first Wednesday of every month. If you're interested, email me or Facebook me, Facebook Teddy. We can put you in touch with Paul. Come along. It's a way of men getting together and just chatting. You don't have to open up. Naturally, every single one of us there has. I'm going to start bringing Teddy along because he hasn't done it before, but I am going to bring him along. You know, he's in a much better place now, and I just think that group is just growing and growing and growing. So yeah, no, thank you ever so much for listening to us.